There is no safe place to run in crypto right now, guys. We're going to talk about that. I'm out here thugging it out in the parking lot. I have the same clothes I had on like 2 days ago. There's a Walmart parking lot. You guys know how I like to thug it out in these parking lots, but we're going to get wings today. So, what do I mean? So, if you're in stable coins, Tether, obviously, everybody's been waiting for that to implode, essentially since 2017 or before. I don't think that's a safe place. And then obviously UST, that went down the drain. A lot of the stuff swirling the drain. So then it's like, okay, it leaves you with the Gemini dollar, it leaves you with BUSD, Binance USD, and it leaves you with, USDC. Um, and here's the thing. I don't know that those are safe havens. Somebody said this in a comment. They said, do you think it's safe if Coinbase goes bankrupt? Is USDC safe? And I don't know exactly the legalities behind that. I know that Circle had something to do with starting USDC. I don't know how much Coinbase had to do with starting it. And then my interpretation of DAI is that it's partially collateralized by Ethereum, but that it's more like it's wrapped USDC. I've heard several different things like that. And I don't know what's going on in the back end legality wise. So, what do I mean by that legality wise? So, if BUSD, Gemini dollar, and Coinbase all have, a dollar in a bank account for each, USDC, for instance, well, we don't kind of know, who's the law firms or who's in control of that, third party auditing firms, this and that. I mean, we just kind of don't know that. So if one entity goes bankrupt or, something wasn't what we thought it was, who knows? That could all go down the drain. Who knows? So I'm just playing devil's advocate, because we just really don't know. Then it's like, well, are you safe? Are you safe or just, you know, pouring the money into, BTC, pouring it into Ethereum, pouring it into Litecoin, Monero, these kind of things. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised again if this stuff kind of gets cut in half again. So it's like, I mean, when I look at it, look at like something like Ethereum, it's like, people are waiting on Ethereum 2.0, they're waiting on this and that. They, just the prices in general, everything's kind of like collapsing. We don't know how many people are going to get margin called. You know, whether whether Michael Saylors gets margin called or not, there's going to be other people that are going to get margin called. There are going to be people that get liquidated on the money markets, so on and so forth. So this whole thing is just kind of cascading down, cascading down, cascading down, and it's not like various other like investments that people are in, maybe like the stock market, for instance. It's not like, well, they have a lot of money, and so they were getting beat up over there. So for them to go over and look for crypto, that's kind of the move. I don't know. Right now that's just questionable. Now, what about if your money is in essentially like the US dollar, not in a stable coin, but in the US dollar out on these exchanges, FTX, Coinbase, Gemini, wherever, Binance. I don't know if that's a safe haven either, because if Coinbase is talking about potentially having to file for bankruptcy, we can assume that some of these other exchanges are insolvent. And if it's just kind of sitting there and something happens, then you could potentially lose your funds there. So it's kind of like, get your funds. We really need to get our funds off the exchanges. And it's not really safe haven to go into a stable coin that's necessarily on one of these chains or whatever. I don't know. So then it's like, well, do you put it in something that's, that the blockchain, works fairly decent and stuff like that? And I haven't looked today, like kind of what the fees are on Bitcoin. But even if you did go into it at this point, you could get cut in half. So again, people that are trying to jump in right now and they're looking at different things. Oh, this is a great price. This is a great price. Well, just because something is at whatever $100 doesn't mean it can't go to $50. Doesn't mean it can't go to $25. So on and so forth. So, is there going to be like a decent relief rally? Potentially, but at the end of the day, you're going to have other opportunities in the future. You know, it's kind of like this last little rally was a little bit of a fake out, and it might have been kind of the setup for like what happened. So like Bitcoin kind of like, you know, went on up a couple months ago or whatever to, you know, or a month ago or whatever it was to like 47,000 or whatever it was. And then obviously we see what happened now. So I just don't think that that's the ultimate capitulation move for a lot of reasons. A lot of people are getting beat up out there. But at the end of the day, personally, even though there's so much inflation, that's another thing. It's not, you don't have a safe haven to escape the inflation either if you take the money to your bank account and then kind of use through it for general expenses. I mean, we're just getting chewed alive with inflation, whether it be the gas prices, whether it be car prices, whether it be food prices. We're getting eaten alive out there. We're getting, you know, obviously it's very precarious to know what stable coins to go to. And, you know, and then some of these chains that had a lot of promise and stuff like that, I mean, they've just bled out so much. And then some people, they're going to be cheerleading hodl, 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 or, you know, this is a good opportunity to buy, this is a good opportunity to buy. And then, you know, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, those people are maybe kind of end up in a situation where they're forced to sell. So usually stuff is going to flatline. I know this, you know, last year was a very weird thing with the V-shaped recovery during the summer and things pop back up and stuff like that. But, you know, just really can't say that that particular thing is going to happen. So that's what I would say. That's kind of the point of the video is you're not safe with your money in USD on the exchanges if they go bankrupt and they're insolvent. You're not safe in the stable coins potentially if they go insolvent, if it's something that they constructed. And then, you know, in the algorithmic stable coins, you know, it's a lot bigger fight to kind of, you know, keep that at $1. And usually when stuff's crashing, it is very hard to keep those at $1. Stuff like the Hive dollar, Steam dollar. We saw what happened with Nubits last time around. We see what happened with Titan and Iron a year ago. I mean, so we see these different things kind of happen and stuff. So, you know, personally, I'm getting out of liquidity pairs that have USDC. I was in some liquidity pairs with USDC and another pairing. I'm getting out of that. I just don't think that USDC is a safe place to go. Anyway, guys, follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, see you at Twitter. See you guys.